Huh? Love? You cannot marry from that tribe over my dead body.
I don't know what charm she has used on you, Chebe,
Mama
but I swear
Chebe
by the grave of your father,
angrily.
I will remove it from your eyes.
She's actually the mother of a well-to-do young man in his 30s named Chebe. You want to know more about Mama Chebe? Let's just get right into the story.
You want to kill me before my time, Chebe?
The words dropped into the room like poison. No one breathed. The ceiling fan continued its slow, lazy rotation, mocking the tension that had suddenly wrapped itself around the sitting room like a tightening rope. Chebe's mother stood up slowly, adjusting her wrapper with trembling fingers. Her body shook, not with weakness, but with rage restrained too long. Her eyes burned red, sharp, unforgiving, as though she had already judged and sentenced everyone in the room. After everything I suffered to raise you alone, she said, her voice thick with bitterness. After burying your father with my own hands, this is how you repay me. She took a step forward. By dragging this girl into my house. Her finger shot out, pointing at Naomi like an accusation. Naomi's fingers trembled violently. She clasped her hands together to stop them from shaking, but it didn't help. Her heart hammered against her chest so loudly she was certain it would betray her fear. She had imagined many outcomes, rehearsed many smiles, but not this open hatred. Mama, Chebe said, his voice firm but strained. Naomi is the woman I want to marry. For a moment, his mother stared at him in silence. Then she laughed. It wasn't laughter filled with humor. It was hollow, dry, dangerous, the kind that made Naomi's skin crawl.
Her? This is the woman you want to bring into my lineage. That tribe? You cannot marry from that tribe over my dead body.
Her voice rose suddenly, wild and loud.
I don't know what charm she has used on you, Chebe, but I swear by the grave of your father, I will remove it from your eyes.
Naomi swallowed hard, her throat burning. Mama, she said softly, forcing the words out despite the fear choking her. I may not have much, but I am hard-working. I run my own business. I promise to respect you, to care for you like my own mother. Shut up. The command cracked like a whip. Who told you to open your mouth in my presence? The woman barked. You people from that tribe don't know shame. Naomi flinched, tears stinging her eyes, but she bowed her head in silence. Chebe stood up abruptly.
Enough! Father is gone, yes, but I am not a child. I love Naomi.
His mother's face twisted. Love, she spat bitterly. Love does not last. Suffering does. She laughed again, louder now. Do you think I don't see it? She wants your money, your future. She wants to drain you dry and leave you empty. That's a lie, Chebe yelled. Naomi worked with me when I had nothing. His mother slapped her palm against her chest dramatically. So now I'm a liar, she cried loudly. Neighbors, spirits, hear how my son insults me because of a woman. Naomi knelt slowly. Mama, please. Get up, the woman screamed. Don't kneel for me. Kneel for the demons that sent you. Chebe stepped between them. If you curse her again, I will leave this house, he said through clenched teeth. Silence. Then his mother smiled. Slow, cold smile. For weeks, she said later, she refused food, claimed sickness, called relatives to cry on the phone. Told anyone who would listen that her son was killing her. Some nights, she wailed so loudly neighbors gathered. Other days, she lay motionless, claiming she would die if the wedding happened. Finally, one evening, she sighed heavily and waved her hand like someone granting mercy. Fine, she said tiredly. Marry her. Chebe exhaled in relief. Naomi almost smiled. But the smile never reached the woman's eyes. Because deep inside her heart, hatred had already made itself comfortable. And that night, as she lay awake in the dark, Chebe's mother whispered to herself, this marriage will not know peace. And that was the day the war truly began. Marriage began like a stolen miracle. For a brief moment, Chebe believed love had won. The house smelled of laughter and fresh paint. Naomi hummed softly as she cooked, her small cleaning business growing little by little. Chebe worked hard, returned home tired but smiling, grateful that despite the storm that had followed them, they had found peace. But peace is fragile when hatred lives under the same roof. The day Mama arrived with her suitcase, the walls themselves seemed to shrink. She walked into the house slowly, eyes scanning every corner, her lips pressed tightly together. "So this is where you brought me to," she muttered. "A house built on disobedience." Naomi rushed forward. "Mama, welcome. Please sit. I made pepper soup for you." Mama sat. She tasted the soup once. Then she spat it back into the plate. "Is this what you feed elders?" she snapped. "Or is this poison?" Before Naomi could speak, the plate flew. Hot soup splashed across Naomi's chest and arms. She screamed. The pain was sharp, sudden, unforgiving. "Look at her screaming like a goat." Mama barked. "Drama queen." Naomi collapsed to her knees, shaking violently. "I'm sorry, Mama," she whispered. "I'll redo it." That night, Naomi locked herself in the bathroom, peeling burnt skin from her chest while biting her towel so her cries wouldn't wake Chebe. She did not tell him. The next day, Mama waited by the door. "So you think you can go out any time you like?" she asked coldly. "Mama, I'm going to work." "Work?" Mama scoffed. "Which kind of work keeps a married woman outside all day?" Naomi hesitated. "You sleep with men for money," Mama accused calmly. "I know your type." Naomi's knees weakened. "That's not true." "Shut up." When Chebe confronted her that night, Mama laughed. "You see," she said sweetly, "your wife is already turning you against your own mother. Stop insulting her." Chebe shouted. Mama slapped him hard. The sound echoed through the house. "Never raise your voice at me again," she warned. "Never." Chebe walked out that night, shaking with rage and shame. From that day on, Mama became careful. When Chebe was home, she smiled. "My daughter," she called Naomi warmly. When he left, "You witch," she whispered. "You think I don't know what you're doing?" Some days, Chebe's elder sister came around. 2 against 1. They whispered insults, hid food, broke plates and blamed Naomi, locked her outside at night. Naomi cried quietly, prayed harder, endured, because leaving meant defeat. And defeat, she believed, would destroy her marriage. But inside her, something was slowly breaking. And the house that once echoed with laughter began to echo with fear. Hatred had moved in, and it was no longer hiding. Naomi noticed the change in her body before she said anything. The dizziness, the sickness that came with dawn. The way smells suddenly made her gag. When the test confirmed it, she sat on the edge of the bed for a long time, staring at the result as tears rolled down her cheeks, not from fear but from hope. "This child will change everything," she whispered to herself. Chebe was overjoyed. He lifted her off the ground, spinning her around like a child himself. "I'm going to be a father," he shouted. For a moment Naomi believed, truly believed, that Mama would soften. She was wrong. When Mama heard the news, her face hardened like stone. "So," she said slowly, "she's pregnant." There was no congratulations. No smile. "She's pregnant with what?" Mama added sharply. "Evil." Naomi tried to laugh nervously. "Mama, God gives children." Mama turned to her suddenly. "God," she snapped. "Don't mention God in my presence." From that day the insults changed. Before, Naomi was useless. Now she was dangerous. "She wants to trap you," Mama told Chebe one night when she thought Naomi was asleep. "A child is her final weapon." Chebe slammed his fist on the table. "Enough. Don't talk about my wife like that." Mama smiled thinly. "You will remember my words." At the hospital, the doctor smiled gently. "It's a girl." The room went cold. Mama screamed so loudly nurses rushed in. "A girl," she yelled. "A girl." She pointed at Naomi, her eyes wild. "Witch. You couldn't even give my son a son. You want to finish my lineage." Naomi broke down in tears. "Mama, please. Shut your mouth." Mama roared. "Your womb is cursed." That night, Naomi curled into herself on the bed. "Chebe," she whispered, her voice trembling. Maybe your mother is right. Maybe I shouldn't have married you." Chebe held her tightly, but his silence betrayed his fear. The pregnancy became another battlefield. Mama refused to let Naomi rest. "Pregnancy is not sickness," she snapped. "Go and wash plates." Naomi slipped one afternoon and fell hard on the floor. She cried out in pain. Mama stood over her. "If that thing in your womb dies," she said coldly, "it will be your punishment." Naomi began to bleed lightly that night. She hid it. She hid everything. Because fear had become her second skin. And as her belly grew, so did the hatred in that house. Months later, Naomi gave birth to her beautiful daughter Ada. Everyone was happy except Mama. She acted with hatred just like her mother but without the knowledge of Chebe. Ada was so loved by her parents, pampered and well taken care of. Everything Ada wants, she get. But she was never a spoiled brat because Chebe made sure to discipline her when she misbehaves. Years later, on this particular day, Naomi was already planning Ada's 5-year birthday. She wanted a big party and she was planning towards it. On this particular day, the rain had been falling since afternoon. Naomi was tired, bone tired. Her hands ached from scrubbing floors all day. Her back screamed in protest, and her eyes burned from lack of sleep. Still, she drove carefully through the Lagos mainland traffic, whispering prayers under her breath. "God, let me reach home safely," she murmured. "Just let me see my daughter." The headlights blinded her for a second. Loud crash. Metal screamed. Glass shattered. The world spun. And Naomi never made it home. When the call came, Chebe screamed. A deep, broken sound tore out of his chest as he fell to the ground, clutching his phone like it could bring her back. "My wife is not dead," he kept saying. "You are lying. She is not dead." But death does not negotiate. In another room, behind a locked door, Mama sat quietly on her bed. When she was sure no one was listening, she smiled. "So the witch has finally gone," she whispered. "God answers prayers after all." She did not cry. She did not mourn. She wore black and pretended. Ada was 5. She knew something was wrong. Her mother stopped coming home. Her father cried every night. The house smelled like sorrow. "Mummy went on a long journey," someone told her. Ada waited. Days passed. Weeks passed. She kept asking. No one answered. Chebe never healed. Grief swallowed him whole. Then, 6 months later, he traveled for business. That was when fate struck again. Another accident. Another hospital. Another broken body. Chebe survived, but his memory didn't. He was kept at the hospital far from home. No one knew if he was alive nor dead. His mother no longer cared. She felt it was his karma. She was okay if he wasn't coming back. His unmarried elder sister also packed into the house. Back home, Mama took control. "She's her mother's blood," Mama told her daughter one night. "Evil must be crushed early." The next morning, Ada's dresses were gathered. Mama lit a fire. Ada watched silently as her colorful clothes burned. "These rags suit you," Mama said, throwing torn clothes at her. Ada scrubbed floors until her fingers bled. Was beaten for spilling water. Slapped for coughing. When she cried, Mama laughed. "Your mother is dead," she screamed. "And your father has abandoned you." Ada clutched her parents' picture. Mama snatched it and tore it. "Stop calling dead people," she warned. One night, they dragged Ada to the boys' quarters. Dark, cold, smelling of rust and oil. "This is where you belong," Mama said. Beatings became normal. One day, Ada's legs snapped under the blows. She screamed until her voice disappeared. "She won't run or walk again, or maybe for some time," Mama said calmly. Ada crawled. Still worked. Still suffered. One afternoon, Mama stood over her wheelchair, eyes cold, outside the house under the scorching sun. She lifted a water above Ada's head, pouring the water on Ada as she laughed, mocking. Her daughter laughed too. "You think your father will save you," she mocked. Even if he's alive, he has forgotten you. Ada whispered weakly. Daddy will come. Grandma, please have mercy, Auntie, forgive me, she said with her innocent voice. Mama laughed. And outside the compound gate, a car slowly rolled in, unnoticed. The gate creaked open. The car engine went silent. For a brief moment the compound breathed. Then a voice, hoarse, trembling, familiar, cut through the air. Ada! The kettle slipped from Mama's hand and smashed against the concrete. Her daughter staggered back, her mouth falling open. Chebe stood at the entrance of the compound, thinner, paler. His left arm wrapped in plaster. His eyes scanned the yard and then froze. The wheelchair. The blood. Child. My daughter. Ada lifted her head slowly. Her lips were cracked, her face swollen, her hair matted and unkempt. Daddy, she whispered, her voice barely sound. Chebe dropped to his knees. Oh God, he sobbed, pulling her into his arms carefully. What have they done to you? Mama found her voice. She is stubborn, she said quickly. Very stubborn. Shut up, Chebe roared. The shout shook the walls. In 4 months, he continued, his voice breaking. 4 months I was away. And this is what you turned my child into? He touched her scars gently, his hand shaking. Why is she in a wheelchair? He demanded. Why is she bleeding? Why does she look like she hasn't eaten in days? Mama tried to step forward. I am your mother. You stopped being my mother the day you chose cruelty over love. Chebe screamed. Tears streamed down his face. You hated her mother. I knew that. But what did this child do to you? What? Ada whimpered softly in his arms. She said Mummy is rotting, she whispered. She said you left me. Chebe's chest shattered. He lifted his head slowly, his eyes burning with a rage that had been waiting for years. Pack your things, he said quietly. Both of you. Mama dropped to her knees. I carried you for 9 months. Get up, Chebe snapped. I should arrest you. I should let the world see what you did to a child. His voice lowered, deadly calm. Leave my house. Leave my life. Forever. They left in silence, defeated, exposed, stripped of power. Chebe held Ada tightly as they disappeared through the gate. I'm here now, he whispered into her hair. Daddy is here. I will never leave you again. Ada cried long, deep sobs she had held in for years. And for the first time since her mother died, she felt safe. But scars remained. Some wounds heal slowly. Some memories never sleep. And somewhere in the silence, a question echoed. When hatred wears the face of family, how many children die before love arrives? What would you do to a woman like Mama Chebe if you ever come across her? Kindly drop your opinion in the comment section, subscribe, like, share for more interesting stories like this.